Hey guys, my name is Melody, and welcome to the fifth installment of Confessions of a Quiet Yearner. To all the people who have loved me before. So, I'm going to be talking about love and my experiences with it, but focusing on uh, people who have had unrequited crushes on me just for the entertainment of it. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of these people or anything like that, but it's just like a thought. Like, I've never been in a relationship, chronically single, a hermit, touch starved, isolated, constantly, consistently disappointed by friends and the crushes that I've had. Like, we've all had unrequited crushes before, most of us anyway. So, like I said, I'm not trying to put any of these people on blast or anything like that. But I do have some entertaining stories I'd like to share. And before we get into it though, I recently got an energy reading done by Natty Love Tarot, and I highly recommend her. She's an amazing reader. And we talked about my love life, talked about how there is an energy that's trying to come in and offer me something. I have no idea who this person is, but we talked about how my limitations, the mental limitations that I put on myself, and the fact that just in general, like, my heart chakra is kind of like blocked off, and like people can read that energy off me, like that it's hard for me to be vulnerable with people and stuff. So I don't know, like, I just kind of, I'm the type of person where if I don't feel like that connection with you from the beginning, like, I just don't ever believe that it's going to be there. And there's definitely been situations in the past like I have developed like a crush on someone that didn't necessarily, start there, but I found that person attractive and then decided to put them in that friendship category. And then situations happened where, you know, the lines got blurred. If you've seen my Confessions of a Quiet Yearner, my homoerotic friendship or whatever, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Which, by the way, thank you guys for 1,000 views on that video. I cannot believe that it has 1,000 views. That just blows my mind. So anyway, let's get into it. Unrequited crushes that I've had. So I'm gonna start off by talking about this guy named Rick. Um, all these names are not their real names. So anyway, I went to a community college in my area, and I met Rick in this college. We had a class together. I don't remember what class it was. I have really vague memories of all of this. I have a script that I wrote down, just bullet points, notes, and stuff to help me remember everything. But we would go to class together, and in between classes we would hang out as well. And he was a really sweet guy, just not my type. And also he was really religious. And as I got older, I started out religious. I grew up in a religious family, non-denominational Christian family. And the older that I got, the more I realized about myself, the deeper I got into my spirituality and stuff, I just realized that organized religion is just not for me. And I don't really think or see myself ending up with someone who is in a organized religion. So yeah, let's see what my notes say. So yeah, we would hang out a little bit outside of school and stuff. We would go to this discount theater that we used to have where I live, and we would go see movies and stuff, and we would text and everything. But like, I would always try to make sure that I was not giving any mixed signals, that I wasn't putting out too much, energy or anything. But one day he did end up texting me and asking me if I would date him, and I was like, no, I don't know, like, why he asked me that. Maybe just because, like, I was one of, I don't know. So, like, yeah. So that was Rick. Like, we weren't really compatible. It was just awkward. And I felt bad because I ended up, like, unfollowing him on Instagram. And then he messaged me and was like asking me why I unfollowed him. And I was like, I don't want to see your content on my screen anymore. I'm sorry. Okay, so moving on. Like, I genuinely feel bad talking about that. But yeah, so moving on to this one. Like, this one's actually entertaining. So then I had a friend named Amy. We'll just call her Amy. And we lived in the same neighborhood. And she lived like a few houses down from me. So I actually met her through her brother because her brother was in the same grade as me. And we would all walk to the school bus or to the bus stop and wait for the school bus together and stuff. And then, like, in the beginning of them living in the neighborhood and stuff, like, she would make him like walk me to my house and everything like that. I really didn't find him like attractive for real. We ended up having a class together, me and her brother, and he picked on me for my knees and pointed out that, like, the little extra bit of like skin, muscle, and fat, I guess, that I have behind above my knees, it shouldn't look like that. Like, just asshole. Like, and so I stopped really like hanging out with her brother, really talking to her brother like that. But like, I would hang out and talk to her because, like, she was like a grade above us, or maybe two grades above us, and like, she was cool. Like, she was fun to hang out with, talk to. It was like a whatever sort of situation. So like one day, I was hanging out at their house talking to her and just chilling, and she ended up coming out to me as bisexual. Just kind of like, I could tell like she was like nervous about it and stuff, and I was like whatever, like, I'm bisexual too, like, it's cool. And then she was like, you know, relieved, and I could tell that she was relieved, and it was like whatever. And so then she was like, I feel like that day even, because I know it happened at another point too, but I feel like that day even she wanted to like go upstairs to her room and like cuddle and stuff, and I was just like, no, like, you know, just because we're both queer doesn't mean that like I'm interested. But I really didn't know how to say that because, like, I was a teenager. Like, as an adult now, I feel like it's so much easier for me to be straightforward and be blunt and about my boundaries and how I feel and stuff. When I was younger, I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. But I think the older, because I was a very sensitive child. Like, I have a Scorpio moon, so I was a very sensitive child, and people did not, like, they did not sweeten like their words for me at all. So like, I tried to walk through the world and be that softer individual. And then just because life and circumstances and people in general just continue to not have that consideration for me, I just became a harder person. Like, again, that's probably why my heart chakra is like blocked. I just became a harder person. So like, as an adult, later on in life, you know, I don't have the time anymore to like sweeten my delivery. It's like that Nene quote that's like, I don't have to sweeten my delivery for Todd. Who was Todd?
I don't have to sweeten my delivery to make it work for Todd. I mean, who is Todd?
Like, that is me. Like, I don't have to sweeten my delivery anymore. Like, there's some things that I will sweeten. Like, I'm not going to come out the bat swinging. But, like, at the same time, like, I don't have as much of a problem with that. But back then, as a teenager, figuring things out and stuff, like, it was hard for me to be straight up and be like, look, I'm not interested. So anyway, Amy ended up getting a girlfriend, and like, she went to school in another city that was like 40 minutes away from where we would live, where I lived. So when she would be back for like spring break or fall break or summer vacation, like we would hang out then. Otherwise, like it was really just like out of sight, out of mind for me, which is like a lot how a lot of my friendships go anyway, because I have ADHD, so it's just like an object permanence thing for real. But she ended up coming up here a few times with her girlfriend, and I would hang out with them and stuff. And like she would like blatantly flirt with me like in front of her girlfriend. And again, at the time, I genuinely just didn't know what to do in that situation except kind of like laugh it off as like playful banter instead of like straight up flirting, which is what I knew it was. And just try to make it her girlfriend comfortable and be like, look, I'm not playing into this. Like, ha ha ha, like, you know, again, I didn't know how to set those boundaries, but now I do. So, I think this happened first. My dad ended up passing away 2016, and so we had a celebration of life for him, and I invited her to the celebration of life. She knew when it was and what time it was, and I was even like confirmed with her the day before that she was going to be there, and like we were all going to ride together because like again, her mom still lived on my street, so like she was supposed to be back home that day, and I just figured you can just come to my house and then we'll drive together to the service. And so I'm texting her, I'm like, hey, like, you know, again, like, this is a plan, like, we're leaving at this time. And she, day of the service, was like, I'm not gonna make it, like, I'm still stuck in the other city. And I was like, are you serious? Like, bro, like, this is like a big deal. Like, this is my dad's celebration of life. Like, my dad died. Like, we had his celebration of life, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks after he passed. I'm like, my dad died like 2-3 weeks ago. And you're supposed to be here to support me, and you're not here. Like, bro, what the fuck? So that was really disappointing for me. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna make it up to you and stuff, like when she got back to town. And I'm like, whatever, like I already know where you're at, like we're good, you know, like I'm gonna still hang out with you and stuff so that I have something to do. But like I categorize my friends as like this, it's like a chart or like a dartboard, you know, where the inner circle and then the circles like grow bigger. Like you're not in this inner circle. This is my close and best friends here. These are like good friends. These are friends. These are acquaintances. Like you're here. You're just a friend. You're someone I can go kiki with, have lunch with, grab brunch, go play bowling, but you're not like getting close to here, you know? So that was where I was at with her. She ended up like taking me out to lunch and like paying, like that was her making it up for me for missing my dad's service. And I was like we're good, you know. But again, like we go out to lunch, she's trying to open the car door for me, like I'm like, bro, like we're just friends, like what are you doing? Like I don't need you to do all of this. Like I was just really struggling at that time to like figure out how to shut it down and not like and make it clear that I wasn't interested that way, which as an adult, I would have just said that. As a teenager, I struggled with it. So then she like went back to school or whatever. She comes back for like the fall time. We hang out a few times. And I think it was during the fall time. It was either during the fall break or it was a winter break. But I just remember that I went over to her house. We were like, just gonna watch movies, chill. Her mom and brother weren't there. And we're hanging out in her room. And she's like, oh, like, I want to give you a massage. Like, let me give you a massage. I'm like, why did my like dumb teenage ass like let her do it? I don't know. I was like, okay, whatever. And like I'm like laying on her bed, chest down, and like she gets that lotion and like she's got her hands all up under my bra, under my sweater. I had a sweater on, like massaging me and stuff. I was so uncomfortable. And like then afterwards she wanted to like try to cuddle with me and stuff, and I was just like, okay, like I've got to go home. And could not get the smell of that lotion out of my sweater. Like I could not get it out of my sweater. I washed that sweater like several times, and every time it still smelled like that lotion, and I ended up like I could never wear it again because that's how uncomfortable I was remembering that moment and everything. So then she like every time that she was like in town and stuff, like she always wanted to hang out or whatever. And so I know like this timeline for sure. We're in winter Christmas break. And so like she wanted to come hang out at my house. Or like she wanted to hang out and wanted me to come over, I think, but like I was just like I'm doing stuff. I think I was making food or whatever. And like I didn't have ingredients. Now this is on me. Like I shouldn't have done this. I didn't have certain ingredients that I needed, and like she went to the store and got them for me. And so after that, when she came back, like my mom was at work or whatever, and my mom came home, and we had a recliner, and then we also had a couch. And so like I was like, I'm gonna sit in the recliner because I don't want to sit next to her. And like I just wanted to be friends. Like I didn't want to like make her feel like I was playing into like this flirtationship that didn't exist on my end and only existed on her end. So I was like, I'm gonna sit on the recliner, and she wanted to sit in front of the recliner and was trying to hold my hand and stuff. And my mom comes home from work, and I don't think my mom knew that I was bisexual at that point. I ended up telling my mom later on, but I don't think she knew at that point. And so I was like we're definitely not holding hands. Like I don't remember how I got her to go home, but I ended up getting her to go home. And then she wanted to hang out again, but I think like I kind of like brushed her off. And I had plans with my other friends another day, like a separate day, that I didn't brush her off. I know for sure. Like I'd already had these plans like made up for like a week or whatever. So like at the time I was working at a retail store, and we would have people come and train at our retail store with like our visual merchandiser. And so we had a trainee that me and my work friends were like, we liked her, she was fun. And so we had plans to go to her hotel room and hang out, play Just Dance. Like I brought my Wii over and everything. So we're at her hotel room hanging out, playing Just Dance. And I'm like just hanging out with my friends, and I get a text message from Amy, and she's like, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, like I'm hanging out with my friends. And she's like, I want you to like come hang out or whatever. And I'm like, well, like I'm with my friends. Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, we barely hung out this week. Just like going in on me. Like I wish I had the text messages. Before I filmed this video, I was trying to find my old phone, because I know I had this old phone that had the messages on it for a minute. Like I had that old phone, and I think I threw away all my old phones, which is like yeah. But yeah, so like she was just going off on me about not spending enough time with her and hanging out with my friends instead of her, just like acting like she had entitlement over me. I'm like, we are not in a relationship. Like I've been trying to make that clear. I'm not interested, and I haven't done my best job. Like I let you go get food for me or groceries for me. I let you buy food for me to make up for my dad, which that really shouldn't even count. Like you knew what the plan was up even till the day before, confirmed with me that you were going to be at the service, and then the day of, you're acting like you can't get to town. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you said you were going to make it up for me, so like you taking me out to lunch is a completely separate thing. But I shouldn't have let her give me that massage, and I shouldn't have let her buy groceries for me. Yeah. And that was like my two big mistakes. But like we never had any discussion about being in a relationship, and I have other friends. Like, what are you talking about? I can't hang out with my other friends. I have to spend every day that you're in town for your college break, like, hang out with you? Like, that was fucked up. So I ended up blocking her and just was like, look, I'm having fun with my friends. Like, I'm done with this. And I blocked her. So that was Amy. Yeah, like after that, I think I saw her like a few times. Like she popped up on my Facebook friends, and like I think she even came while I was still working at that retail store. I think she even came like a couple times to buy stuff, which was so awkward and uncomfortable. So then the next person was this guy. We're just gonna call him Random. So I went to middle school with Random. We were in 8th grade together, and we were just friends, like in 8th grade. Like actually, I had a crush on this other guy. I feel like I should do a story time on all the people that I have like had crushes on and like how terribly they ended. I feel like I should do another story time on that another day. But just to flip the script around, since I'm doing it this way this time. But yeah, so like I had a crush. I didn't have a crush on Random, but like we were friends or whatever. So then I went to a different school for the following grade, because where I'm at, middle school isn't 6th through 8th, it's 7th through 9th. I think they changed it since I have gotten out of school or whatever. It might now be 6th through 8th, or if it's not 6th through 8th, then it's just 7th and 8th now, and 9th is in high school now. But yeah, so I went to a different middle school for 9th grade, and I can't remember if this happened in 9th grade or if it happened in 10th grade. I think it happened in 9th grade. So I think in 9th grade, me and my friends did end up going to a football game, and I saw Random there at the game. I hadn't seen him in a long time, obviously, because we went to different middle schools at that point. And like we ended up like cuddling at the game. Like it was pretty cold, and so like he had put his arms around me, and we were just like he was holding me for a minute at that game. And like nothing ever came from that. Like I think one of his friends ended up messaging me on Facebook and was like, well, why don't you give Random a chance? And I was just like, I mean, we go to separate schools, like what's the point? So fast forward, I'm working at that retail store that I just mentioned when we were talking about Amy, and he ends up coming in there a few times at the retail store, and like it had been so long that like I didn't want to do that whole song and dance of like, oh hey, like how you been? Like I was just like, I'm gonna act like I don't know who you are. Like I'm gonna act like I don't know you, because I really don't. Like I've hung out with you like years ago, and we went to school together for a year, but like I don't know why. I just didn't want to do that whole song and dance of acting like I knew him. And then he like even came in with like his girlfriend at one time and stuff, and like even then I remember being at the checkout line and being like, please go to another line. Like I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to act like I know who you are. And then even when I moved to Nashville and I came back and I was like more dedicated into working out and going to the gym, I was like going to the gym and stuff, and he was there, like, and like we would be looking at each other and stuff, but like I was still like trying to act like I didn't know him. So like, you know, there really is a problem with me, because like there was nothing wrong with Random. Like, you know, he wasn't ugly. Like he's not an ugly guy. I'm socially awkward, I'm shy, and again, like I have issues being vulnerable and opening up to people and stuff like that. So the last person that we're going to talk about is another juicy situation. So we're going to call this guy Mr. Manager. And I can put my laptop to the side because I still remember this situation. Let me get a sip of water. So in 2022, I started working as a package delivery driver. And there was a manager there that I ended up meeting when I was doing, like, we had, so for training there, we had like a computer portion that like took, like, it was a certain amount of like modules and stuff that we had to go through and everything. And so I like took my time with the computer portion because we were allowed, like, there was no set schedule. Like, I could literally just wake up, go there, stay there for like 4 hours and do computer work and then go home. Like, it was really just, as long as it didn't matter. Like, I could just, like, there was no set schedule as far as like how long it took me to get it done, basically. Like, I could take my time doing it, which is really, really nice. So like, I would be there, he would come in around like 2 p.m., which was like around the time that I would like get ready to finish up what I was working on and go home. And so like, he came in, we would chat, and I thought he was so funny. Like, he seemed really down to earth and funny and cool. I'm like, all right, Mr. Manager, like, you're a cool guy. Like, this is going to be someone that's going to be fun to work with. Now, the first Confessions of a Quiet Yearner installment that I did, I talk about this guy that I had a crush on there that worked at that job, who was the trainer for like the actual like driver instructor. And if you want to watch that, because I'm not going to really get into it here, but I'll bring him up a little bit because it kind of matters part of the story. But yeah, so like, the driver instructor, like, I just remember seeing him like one of those days that I came in to work on the computer work, and I was like, that is my type. That man is my type. Like, oh my God, he's so fine. And I hadn't had a crush on a man in so long that at that point in my life, I was starting to wonder if I was straight up a lesbian. I was like, am I just gay? Like, I don't even know if I'm attracted to men for real. And then I saw him, I was like, okay, I'm still attracted to men. And so like, I remember one day I'm working on the computer and the driving instructor walks by, and then Mr. Manager is behind him, and they're like talking. And so when Mr. Manager walks by, like, we make eye contact and I wave just to say hello. And he's like, oh, hey, like, how you doing? And he stops to talk to me and stuff, asks me how I'm doing with my computer work and everything. And so the driving instructor stops too and like smiles at me and stuff. And like, this was like 2022, I was still wearing masks, so I had a mask on. So like, but I don't know, I could just tell, like, when I made eye contact with that driving instructor, like, there was a vibe, like, And I have started saying this, okay, because I've had my fair share of unrequited crushes and everything. Unrequited attraction, like all that BS. I've had my share of it, and like I said, I might do an installment from my point of view on that in the series. But I started saying the affirmation that I only desire people who desire me. And ever since I started affirming that, I've never had an unrequited crush since. Like, I haven't had really another crush since that crush on that delivery or the driving instructor. Like, I haven't had a big crush since him. Again, I don't go out, I don't meet people like I should, but I know that, like, when I find someone attractive, like, I can sense that, like, it's mutual. Like, maybe I don't have a crush on that person, but like, I can tell that that person also finds me attractive. Like, I'm not looking my best today, by the way. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, so just ignore that. But yeah, so anyway, back to the story. So fast forward, I do my driving test with a driving instructor, and again, that vibe is there, whatever, but like, we keep it friendly because he was married, still probably married. Anyway, but you can, like, again, you can watch the first episode of this series if you want to find out the tea on that. It's not much tea, but still. The Mr. Manager and that delivery, or the driving instructor, why do I keep wanting to say delivery driving instructor? But they were like friends, like they were like work friends or whatever. So like, a lot of my interactions with Mr. Manager in the beginning had to do with that driving instructor too. So after I go through my test, I have to like train with a driver like for a few shifts, and then I'm on my own. I'm on my own for like a couple days, and then I do have a ride. The driving instructor has to do a ride with me. I forgot what it's called, but like he like did a ride with me for like a shift. And then the Mr. Manager was like the evening manager of the facility. So all the morning managers 1 week, they're gone. Like they're all on vacation. So he was to step up to be like the morning manager for a week. And so like I was excited. It's kind of like when your teacher is like on vacation and you have a sub. Like that's how it was. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a fun week. Like Mr. Manager's in charge. And so the first like shift, it's fun. Like he like gives me where I'm supposed to go, because like I was a casual courier, so like I was really mostly helping other drivers, which was like cool because I didn't really want to have my own route and have to deal with heavy packages and stuff and all that jazz. But yeah, so like I was helping other drivers, and I just remember like I came in from work and Mr. Manager's like, oh, driving instructor tells me like you're pursuing acting. Like, do you think I could be an actor? And like the driving instructor was standing there, so I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like you could be an actor. Like anybody could be an actor. You just gotta train. And then the driving instructor was like, oh, do you think I could be an actor too? And I'm like, yeah, you could be an actor too. And then I think this might have happened the same day. I can't remember. But I just remember that one of those days, it was like I was only working 3 days a week. One of those days, it's the end of the shift, and like I come back, return my truck, turn the keys, I'm clocked out, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back there and talk to Mr. Manager, just to like, you know, have a conversation with him. No, this happened a separate day. Let me rewind. Let me back up. Let me back up. Or you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the order of the events. I'm just gonna say it. So I like return my keys, and I'm like, I'm gonna go say hi to Mr. Manager before I leave. Just friendly, okay? So I go back there, I talk to him, and he's like, oh, you know, you came to say goodbye to me. Oh, that's so sweet. And then he was like, you know, driving instructor really likes you. And then he's like, well, not like that. You know, I have to say that because I've had my incidents where, you know, I was friendly with a courier or whatever, and she took it the wrong way and then tried to like tell on my ass later on, and was like trying to say that I was like harassing her, but it was all on her, blah, blah, which is like red flag. Like, why are you telling me this? Number one. And I was supposed to believe that you didn't play your part in it. But I just laughed it off at the time. I'm like, haha, because I was just so crushing so hard on the driving instructor that all in my head I could think about was that he likes me. Like, I was like, that's my friend. I think that's what I said to Mr. Manager. I was like, when he said, oh, driving instructor really likes you, I was like, oh, that's my friend. Because I'm like, yeah, he's my friend. Like, we're cool. But also, side note, just like I told that driving instructor in confidence, like when we did our first like training or whatever, that like I was pursuing acting and stuff. And he went around and told everybody at that facility that I was pursuing acting. Like by the time I left that place, everyone knew that I was pursuing acting. That's how much that man was talking about me. I was living rent free in his head. Just let me saw him. Anyway, see, I haven't had a crush since him. Like a major crush since him, so like I'm still like, when I think about it, because I don't really think about him anymore, but like when I think about that time period and stuff, and I like, don't get mad at me, because like I know he was married and I would never have actually done anything, but like it was like an ego boost to know like the vibe was mutual. I'm just gonna say, like, he was living rent free in my head, and why is my name in your mouth and you're telling everybody at that facility, even the people that I'm not like cool with for real, by the end of my time working there, everybody knew I was an actor. Like, what? Okay, back to the story. Back to Mr. Manager, because that's who this is about. So, yeah. He was like, you know, telling me about this woman or whatever that had basically tried to set him up, and like just because he didn't, she like tried to like make advances at him and he like shut her down. Yeah, right. And he like thankfully didn't lose his job, but like yeah, she tried to frame him or whatever. And so he's like, I just have to like say that, like make it clear that it's just as a friend or whatever. So yeah, that was one of the days of his like week where he was in charge. Another time, um, we didn't really have much work for the casual couriers because there was like a few of us, and then there was also like part-time workers too. So like we spent our shift like um, returning U-Haul trucks. I think that might have been the same day. So like we had a bunch of U-Haul trucks that we returned, and like we all rode back together in Mr. Manager's truck. It was me, a few other couriers, and then the driving instructor. And so, yeah, I think that was that same day because when we got back, there was not much work to do, and so we're like, how am I going to get my hours? Because I need my money because I'm only working 3 days a week. And the general like manager of the building ended up coming back. Like he wasn't supposed to be there because he was supposed to be on vacation, but he was there anyway. And he was like, oh, like you want to stay, like you want work to do. He was like saying that to me, and he was like, oh, why don't you return like this? It was like a scanning gun that we had. He was like, why don't you return this gun to like this location facility that's like an hour and a half away. So like I drove like an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. And I think when I came back, that's when I went and stopped by Mr. Manager's office. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Let's just move on. So just like over like the next month or whatever, like I didn't really get to see the driving instructor that often. Like they just had him running around doing all this different stuff. And like that was like, I hadn't have much going on in my life. So like that was like my dopamine, was honestly seeing him and like interacting with him and stuff. And like, so one day, Mr. Manager is there in the morning, and we had the police there. Like it was the police was there, and we had a courier that was like in handcuffs and stuff. And so I get to work, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are the police here? Why are all the managers here? And why is this woman in handcuffs? So like we're getting all our packages together, and I'm getting all my stops in order. And I'm like, hey, Mr. Manager, what's going on? I'm like, I'm trying to get the tea. And he's like, oh, you know, like I can't really tell you right now, but like, why don't you call me later on, and or I'll call you later on and I'll tell you like what's going on. I'm like, okay, bet. Like I want to get the tea because like I love the tea, I love the gossip. So like so before I leave, I'm like, make sure you call me because I want to know the tea. And I think that got misinterpreted. So I'm on the road, he calls me, and he's like whispering on the phone and stuff, talking about like he can't talk long, but he starts talking and he's not even telling me the tea. Like he's talking about everything but, and I'm like, okay, and like just laughing at whatever he's saying because like he's making jokes and stuff. And then he's like, actually, I gotta go, but I'll call you later, like when I get off work. And I was like, okay, but whatever, because I want the tea. So it's like 7 o'clock at night that he ends up calling me. And I pick up the phone and he just starts yapping about how he's gonna work out, yapping about this, yapping about that, complimenting my hair. My hair at the time was long. I think it was like past my shoulders. I ended up having hair loss in 2023. And so I've been struggling to get my hair to grow out since. I was considering being a straight natural. Like I was going to transition to be a straight natural, but I just decided I'm going back to relaxer. I don't care. I can't do it. But yeah, so he, at the time my hair was like to my shoulders or whatever. And he starts complimenting my hair. He's like, oh my God, I love women that have long hair and blah, blah, blah. And talking about how pretty my hair is. And then just because he was talking about the gym, I was like, oh yeah, like I need to get back into working out. Just saying, like, I used to work out more often. And he was like, well, you know, you got a nice figure. Just like, bro, what the fuck? So finally, I'm just listening to this man yap. Saying that as an adult, I've gotten better with boundaries, but like, I was still struggling at this point in time. Like, I was in my mid-20s and I was still struggling with it. And also, I'll be honest, I entertained the situation because of how hung up I was on that driving instructor, and I just needed a distraction because I'm like, there's nothing can come of that, you know? So like, I'm gonna just focus on this and entertain this because I knew he found me attractive. I knew he liked me, and I knew that he was trying to push, but I was so bored. I was like, whatever, like, it's just fun. Like, I'll entertain it. And then I ended up like finally shutting it down somewhat. Not as strict as I should have been, but I'll get to that. But yeah, so like finally he tells me like what happened with that woman. I genuinely don't remember now like what he said, but he tells me, and then we get off the phone. And after that, he's like, oh, before we get off the phone, he's like, oh, make sure you don't tell anyone that we talked. Like, don't go around running your mouth about this. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, I'm not going to. And he just like hammering it, like, don't talk about this. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we get to work the next day, and I'm just like the same old with him. I'm like, hi. And I focus on my job because work is work. I'm here to work, you know? And so like, he pulls me to the side and he's like, why are you acting like this? Like, why are you acting like, I'm like, are you serious? Like, you literally asked me and told me not to act like we've talked. Why would I? And then we didn't even talk about anything for real. Like, what do you expect from me? And it's just like weird. Like, so I'm like, yeah, I'm acting like that. Like, that's not what you said to do. Okay. And so that happened. And then like, it was just like after that opened up the floodgates in his mind. He felt like he could just text me and call me like whenever. And so he would like text me. I wish I still had the text messages, but like he would text me. And he always called me Gemini, and like he'd be like, Gemini, like just like talking about how Geminis, he was a Sagittarius, so he was like, Geminis and Sagittarius, you know, they're compatible. Just say stuff like that, and I'm like, haha, like whatever, like we're not compatible. I don't like Sagittarius. I don't. I have a Capricorn rising. Sagittarius is in my 12th house. Now, some of it's my 11th house. So like November Sagittariuses are cool for the most part. And I really don't hate all Sagittariuses, but it's like, you know how 12th house synastry is. Like, my mom has a Sag moon, and like we just do not see each other well. Like, we trigger each other is what I'm trying to say. And so like Sagittariuses get triggered by me, I get triggered by them. And it's just not, it's not fun. So like, we're not compatible is what I'm trying to say to him in my head. Like, we're not compatible. Like, there was probably something magnetic about me. Like, he found me magnetic in a way because I have a 12th house, you know, Sagittarius placement. But and also I have my Pluto's in Sagittarius too. So like, I'm sure that, I don't know if that was conjunct to his sun or not, but like, again, probably played a part in it as well. But yeah, so like he would just like call me, he would text me, just like harassing me low key. I mean, I entertained it for a minute because I was just like, oh, it's like whatever. I think my breaking point, because like I remember it was like my birthday, I think. I ended up getting a tattoo on my birthday, or it was around my birthday, that no, it wasn't on my birthday because it was for Friday the 13th. So it was like May 13th or whatever. I get a tattoo. This is the one that I got for Friday the 13th. And I remember calling him because he worked for, I forgot what they're called. I just know that their acronym is TDE. it's some lawn care service or whatever that he worked for at some point in time, and he had told me that like he had issues with them, and like some situation had happened at that job, and he had like called me and was like telling me about that and how like he had to stand up because somebody had called him the N-word, something like that. I don't remember, but I just remember being in the line for the tattoo, and there were people that worked for at that job. I think he was saying that I think he might have still worked for them. I can't remember, but there were people that worked there, and they were talking about a situation that sounded like him. It sounded like Mr. Manager, and so I called him. I was like telling him like what I was overhearing, and he was like, "Oh no, that wasn't me." I'm like, okay, but like we were talking while I was in the line. And like I said, I will be honest, I played into it because I needed the distraction, I needed the entertainment at the time. But like we were talking while I was waiting in the line to sign up for the tattoo, and he was just like, saying stuff again. I cannot remember verbatim what he was saying, but it was just like crossing the line, like crossing the boundary of like him being my manager and me being like him being a supervisor over me. Like it was crossing those lines, and I would just laugh it off. He would again go into saying Geminis and Sagittarius are compatible and just like saying all this stuff that was just weird. It was too flirty, it was too much. And so I think like over time, like over the next couple weeks, it really just was like a month that this happened, like May to June, the beginning of May to the beginning of June was, I shut it down I shut it down at the beginning of June, but he would just be saying stuff. He would just like make comments and stuff that were like too much. So one day I'm on the road and I go to a stop where I had to do like a security check. I had to go through like a security gate and stuff. And she like, the woman's at the gate, she's like, you need to come in and sign something and bring in your ID and watch a video. And I'm like, okay. And so it's like raining. So I park my truck and I'm waiting in there because I didn't hear her well. And I thought she was going to come bring me the video for some reason. I don't know. So like I'm waiting in my truck and I'm like, I don't really have time for this. There's other stops I can do. And then I can like leave and come back and do this one last. And so I like decided to do a U-turn at the gate, and she comes out the door and she's like, "Blah, I told you to come inside and watch this video, blah, 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 blah," like just running her mouth and yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm trying to leave. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like I was trying to run past you and go into the facility anyway. I'm at the exit gate. Like, I want to go and do my other stops. And she's just like running her mouth, just talking to me crazy. And I let her go off, and I'm like, "Ma'am, can I go? Like, can I come back and do the stop?" And like she was just like pissed for some reason, like just had this most nastiest look on her face, and she's like, "Yeah, like that's fine," and like lifts the gate or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not coming back here because I know this woman did not just talk to me like that. Like that's crazy. So I call Mr. Manager and I'm like, because he was the one in charge that day, and I'm like, "Look, I'm not going back to the stop. This stop is not getting delivered today. That lady was talking to me crazy. Like, I'm upset and like really frustrated." And so he's like, "No, I understand. Like, you don't have to go do that stop or whatever." And then he's all like, "Before you leave, are you going to come talk to me?" He's like, I smell good." I just remember that part verbatim, like that he said, "I smell good." I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know that actually, because I haven't really been smelling you like that. And that was like the day, like I said, I entertained it for like a few weeks. I was having fun with it. I wasn't really playing into it too much. I would just like, he would make uncomfortable comments and I would just laugh them off instead of like shutting it down the way I should have, because I was bored and it was my entertainment. I'll be honest, I'm messy like that sometimes. But at that point, just like things were getting too much. Like the things that he was saying were getting too much. I was becoming more and more uncomfortable. And that day, I just had enough. I was like, I smell good. Something about that was just like too much for me. And so I was like, I got off the phone with him. And at that point, I just remembered that I was like, I don't want to talk to this man anymore. Like, I don't like calling him. I don't like texting him. Like, I'm not having fun. Like, I'm not having fun anymore. Like, it's like that scene from Euphoria. You're not having fun? Me neither.
Hey. Hey. You not having fun?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, that was me. Like, I'm not having fun. So I started, like, giving him, like, dry responses, just slowly, like, not... I would smile at him when I would walk past him. Like, I wouldn't stop and talk like I used to. And, like, I could tell that he could tell, like, I was, like, over it. And then, oh my God, do I still have these screenshots? So, like, one day he finally just, like, he texts me and it's like asking me, like, what's going on and stuff. And I'm just like, I just told him that I really needed space. And then I was just like, I didn't have the energy anymore to, like, just, like, I needed space. And then he was like, when I told him that I needed space, he said, you know you can come to me, right? And I was just like no, like, ugh. Let me see if I can find the conversation real quick, because I have it. I know I have it. All right, I haven't found the screenshot yet, but I just want to say, look at this. Wait, that was me. That was my hair. That was my hair back then. Like, it was so pretty. So he says, you know you can call me. And I'm like, I know, I'm just pouring into myself right now and keeping my energy to myself. That's all. Understanding, but you know you got me, buddy. You know I got your back. And I was like, I appreciate it. He said, just hit me sometime. And then I said, when I'm in a better headspace. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you cannot take a hint. And then after I said, when I'm in a better headspace, he said, oh, okay. Make that fast, please. Please make that fast, LOL. And I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Yeah. So I, like, posted this to my Twitter, so that's how I have it. So that was June 8th, 2022, was when he texted me that, talking about, you know you can call me. Why? So, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up, I think, today to all the people who have loved me before. This installment of Confessions of a Quiet Yearner. So am I picky? Like, I don't know. I just feel like I haven't met the right person that has shown interest in me, that has matched, you know, my freak. And I think I like hold myself back as well. I know that I do. And, like, you know, I've got my walls up and stuff like that, and I definitely need to work on bringing them down. But all of those situations, all of those people, like, they genuinely just were not, like, a good fit for me. Like, especially Amy and Mr. Manager. Like, I do feel bad about Rick and about Random more than Rick. Like, Rick really was never gonna work. But it's just like, I'm just never gonna settle. Like, I would rather be single. And at this point in my life, like, I used to love the idea of being in love and having a partner and intimacy and stuff. And, like, don't get me wrong, I still desire intimacy. But as far as, like, having a partner, like, I am okay being single. Like, I enjoy being by myself. Like, I enjoy my alone time and everything. And I feel like I could get what I need out of a friendship, and I don't necessarily need to have a partner. I would like to have a partner, but it's like, as older I've gotten, it's like the more okay I have become with being single. So there's definitely some things I need to work on when it comes to myself, but all those situations are just very, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, or evening. Bye.